The story of a cuckold, when a daughter-in-law fights with a boss. What would you do if your world came crashing down in an instant out of the blue, completely unexpectedly? How would you react to the blow under the breath of a blindingly brutal betrayal? Would you be able to keep your composure when the love you gave unconditionally to your spouse was spat upon? Would you keep your cool, explode, fly into a rage, or just burst into tears? Well, I can tell you from experience, you'll never know for sure until you're in that situation, and I hope you never have to find out. Exactly 1 year ago on this day, I arrived home. I was standing right outside our bedroom door. The door was ajar. My beloved wife of 6 years, Amber, was in the midst of a hot love affair with my boss, Mr. Glenn Davis. Amber was a beautiful woman, 5 feet 7 inches tall, with short cropped blonde hair and a lovely 32-year-old body. We clashed and fought from time to time, but I adored her and thought we enjoyed each other as much or more than other couples our age. She never gave me any reason to expect what I faced that fateful day. Glenn wasn't some old slob. He was just over 40, elegant and trim for a middle-aged guy. From where I stood, he was a good size down. I was supposed to be on my way to Houston, but my flight from Dallas had been canceled at the last minute due to severe spring storms around the airport. I rebooked my ticket for the morning and headed home, thinking about a delightful evening with Amber. Now, with my mouth hanging open, I was trying to deal with the biggest shock of my life. For the next few minutes, I didn't move. I just stood there, frozen in despair, realizing that the life I thought I had was over. "Amber, you're such a good little girl. Do you get all sloppy and horny with Tim?" She never called me Timmy, and he was no more than an inch taller than me and maybe a little thicker. Certainly nothing that she should make fun of me for. I started with a question. What would you do with such a horrible mess? Let me tell you my answer. After a couple of minutes, realizing they had no idea I was right next to the bedroom, I started to come around. I started videotaping them. I recorded about 3 minutes, which was the longest 3 minutes of my life. Then I quietly retreated, went down to my home office in the basement, and pulled something out of my safe. After spending only 5 minutes coming up with a plan for the rest of my life, I snuck back up the stairs and was once again within earshot. The action stopped for a moment, and a private conversation began. "Oh, my Glenn, you are so awful, but you always rock my world. I see stars when you make love to me." She wrapped one arm and one leg around him and caressed his face. "Amber, you are amazing. I have to tell you that I was surprised at the Christmas party when you asked to see my office and then let me bend you over my desk and make love to you while little Timmy was becoming an unsuspecting cuckoo. Yes, I do love him and he treats me so well, but sometimes I need to be taken just like an insatiable girl. I knew you would do that to me the first time I saw you. Tim is sweet, but when you belittle him, I almost pass out. I love what we're doing together. I hope you can keep sending him out of town on business. Don't worry, sweetie, he'll be our cuckoo for years to come." It was time to act. For better or worse, I put my reckless plan into action. I entered the bedroom and walked to the foot of the bed, looking confused and hurt, trying hard not to sound threatening. "Oh no, honey. Glenn, what are you two doing? Why are you making love in our bed?" Tears came to my eyes, and I tried to look devastated and defeated. For a moment at least, Amber was shocked and scared. "Oh, honey, what are you doing home? Why didn't you call me? Glenn and I can explain everything." "Please explain," I pleaded, stepping back and falling into the chair across from the bed. "Why did you two do this to me?" I asked in a whiny voice. Glenn realized it immediately. "Well, Timmy, it's time for you to find out. Your wife is one hot gun who needs a good husband, which you are not. She may be your wife, but she's my cheating wife, and there's nothing you can do about it, Kookie." Amber was confused for a second, but quickly regained her composure. She smirked and jumped forward. "Yes, Timmy. Glenn makes love to me so well. You're my sweet little hubby and always will be, but Jen is my man, my alpha male. He comes and makes love to me in our marital bed because he feels like it. I can't stop him. I don't want to stop him. I love the way he tells me that. I know you can't stop him either. He's so much bigger and better than you. So, little Timmy, Glenn said mockingly, you can stay and watch if you want, but you must ask me to make love to your wife. Beg me on your knees. If you're a good boy, I'll let you eat her when we're done, but you better beg me for the privilege. Amber, is this really what you want? I groaned, as if trying to retain a small part of my manhood. Please don't make me a child. Don't make me beg him to make love to me. Please don't make me look at him and then wipe both of you. I'm sorry, sweet little boy. But yes, that's exactly what I want. And that's what you're going to do right now. Beg little Timmy, beg Glenn to sleep with me. I lowered my head as if totally defeated. Glenn, boss, Mr. Davis, sir, could you please make love to Amber? Could you please take her in our marital bed and give her the pleasure I couldn't give her? Please, Mr. Davis, make a real woman out of her and then let me service you both. Good boy, Glenn replied. Amber stood facing me and looked at me with a smirk, until her eyes closed and she moaned loudly. This gave me the chance I was looking for. I stood quietly, hiding my right hand. One more thing, please, Mr. Davis, sir. Yes, Cook, what is it? I raised my right hand with a Glock clutched in it. Die, you asshole! I paused for 2 seconds before pulling the trigger. There was no way I was going to let Glenn pass out right away, not knowing who had taken his pathetic life. His eyes widened in horror, and he barely managed to squeeze out a no before he clutched his chest in pain and shock, falling off the bed to the floor where he died quietly. I think I heard him crying. For her part, Amber started screaming and recoiled from me, covering herself with the sheets on the bed. Tim, what have you done? No, no, this can't be happening. Honey, why what? Oh, no, no, no. She collapsed, sobbing. I remained calm, my right arm falling to my side. Amber, look at me. She continued to sob, burying her face into the mattress. Amber, I said more firmly, look at me right now, you fucking cheater. That got her attention. You killed him, she said, a little louder than a whisper. Then she got louder. You asshole, you killed Glenn, you killed him in cold blood. I'll call the police and you'll go to jail for the rest of your life. I hate you. Are you done, stupid? Don't you dare talk to me like that, you sick asshole, she spat out. Well, I thought with almost no emotion, I guess we're going to have to go through this the hard way. I walked over to the bed, grabbed her by the hair, lifted her up, and slapped her hard across the face. Amber, look at me and listen to me. She was shocked by my actions. I don't know why she thought she was off the hook. She couldn't have been that stupid, could she? Sweet Tim, I'm listening, she said, much quieter, her voice shaking with fear. Amber, I just want to say goodbye. Her eyes reflected obvious terror as my right hand went up once more. The next 24 hours passed like a blur. No one would be looking for Amber anytime soon, as she had no job or regular occupation. Her parents had died a couple years ago, and her only sister lived on the other side of the country. They only talked on the phone on weekends. I'm sure Glenn's wife would be looking for him, but I seriously doubted she'd be looking for him in our house. The office staff thinks I'm in Houston and will call if they need anything from me. I decided I had at least one day to disappear. Quickly did some research, did some banking, packed a couple bags, grabbed my passport, and dashed out of town. That was exactly 1 year ago. As I sit in a small cafe in a dark corner of Montenegro, I feel a little guilt for what I did. It was hateful and vindictive. But what they did was beyond cruel. Like I said, I had about 5 minutes to decide how I was going to react, and it only took me about 5 seconds to realize that being a fool and submitting to humiliation was not an option. Everything else flowed from that. Why Montenegro? Well, there are a couple reasons. First, most people reading this story would probably have to dig out a world map to at least find where it is. And second, it's one of the nicest non-trade countries you can get into without much preparation. Once I settled here, I learned that the people are friendly, but not nosy. The climate is fine, and I'm even starting to understand the language. The end!